Hello everyone, so welcome to today's video. We are doing a routine for my complexion of products that are new to videos. I have not shared these products with you before. I have been using some of them for a month, some a little longer than that, and I wanted to kind of do my complexion routine with the new products that I have been using and that I love. But there's just one specific product out of everything that I use that just kind of blew me away from the jump. And I could not believe how beautiful this product was and why people are not giving it the buzz that it deserves. It's a foundation that is described as like a skin tint, but gives me pretty good coverage. I would say like a medium coverage. And I wanted to share that with you because I was just blown away from the start using it for the first time, and I honestly want to use it every single day. And I have so many foundations, so I like to mix different things so that I use all of my products so that they're not just sitting in my collection collecting dust, but I just want to use this one. I just keep gravitating towards this specific one. I absolutely love the way it makes my skin look so flawless, so beautiful. It feels like I'm wearing nothing. So I could not wait to turn the camera on and share this with you guys because I feel like it is definitely worth every single penny and it deserves a spotlight. It deserves to be talked about more frequently because it's just that amazing. So I'm going to walk you through how I apply the foundation, the primer, bronzer, blush, highlight, brows, because those are all new things. I am using a new palette on my eyes today that I have not shared with you, so I will kind of show you that in the end. Towards the end of the video. And the lip products, both of them are fairly new as well in my collection over the last, I would say, month or so. The palette I've had for almost 2 months, and I've been using it on and off, and I've been trying it and testing it out just to kind of gather my thoughts to share with you my opinions on it. So I'm not going to do the tutorial for the eyes or the lips. I'm just going to show you the product and kind of talk about it towards the end, just kind of quickly wrapping up the video in the end. But everything will be listed for you down below. But I really wanted to focus more so on like the routine for the complexion today and feature some new bronzers, highlights, and new blush that was a recommendation from you guys that I actually really love. And I can't wait to share with you guys the products. So if you want to see the entire look, then just keep watching. So I'm going to start by applying this primer from Rare Beauty. This is the Pore Diffusing Primer. I bought the mini size just so I can try it and see if I was going to like it, and I don't have much left. I like the packaging because you can actually see as you use it how much you have left. So I appreciate that from the packaging. It feels very silky and smooth on the skin. It makes the skin blurred and more like diffused look to the pores, which is the whole point of the primer. It's what it says it's supposed to do. But I actually really love this primer with a lot of my foundations that I use, whether I'm mixing things or not, but it's like exceptionally great with this specific foundation that I'm going to use with you today. And I usually take probably a good generous like pearl sized amount, and I apply this all over my face. The only thing I have is just skincare from earlier this morning, and sometimes I feel like maybe it's just because mine is almost empty that I need to go back in for just a pinch more. Because I feel like mine is almost completely gone. For foundation, I'm going to use my Real Techniques Beauty Sponge. I've used this foundation with a brush before. I've used different bristles, more synthetic ones, more like natural ones, and it works just great regardless of the method that I choose to apply, which makes it even better. So I'm talking about the Beautyblender Bounce Skin Tint. I absolutely love the packaging. I love pink. It's one of my favorite colors. So of course, I think it's really pretty if you sit it out on your vanity. It's really nice to look at. It's got that typical sort of serum foundation skin tint packaging with the dropper that you probably have seen. Maybe you own a foundation with the typical dropper, and I don't have an issue with the actual components. I think it's fine. It's a nice frosted glass. It's pretty. It feels very luxurious and very weighted. And then I start by doing some drops. I'm using my viewfinder as a mirror, and I start by doing 4 drops on my face. As you can see, I will go back and add more. I do have some areas where I have a little bit of redness, like I had like a little breakout, but I'm gonna take the flat side of my sponge and I'm gonna just start pressing this in and blending it all over. And it's just so easy to blend, so easy to work into the skin. It works great over a lot of other primers that I have used in my collection. If I skip primer, it's great. If I put it over my SPF, it also looks beautiful. It just looks like skin. And to be honest with you, the amount of coverage this gives for a skin tint is very, very shocking, because you think skin tints something thin, something sheer, something just to maybe even out the complexion, maybe even do nothing. So I was very, very skeptical, and I've been wanting to try this for such a long time. I had it with my little favorites section on my Sephora app, and I kept saying, one day I'm going to try it, one day I'm going to get to it. And I finally decided to order it over a month ago. So I've been using this on and off for at least a month. And every time I use it, I love it even more. I will take some more and apply it, a couple more drops to my forehead, and then I just sort of blend it in, and just more so in this region here where I feel like I need or want more coverage. And the combination of this foundation with the primer, it's like my skin is completely smooth. It's poreless. When I did this combo for the first time, I kept stopping and looking in the mirror in my bathroom every time I'd have to go to the bathroom, or the mirrors that I have just randomly around my house. And I'm like, wow, that actually looks good. Man, that really wore so well. And I was just so impressed. And the more I use it, the more I love it. So I wanted to share that demo with you guys, and I'm going to just kind of quickly speed through the next steps of my routine, because this is mostly going to be like complexion products and some concealers, bronzers, blush, things like that that are sort of new, and a new brow product that I'm going to share with you, and then we're just going to kind of skip over the eyes for today. But definitely try this. If you haven't, check it out. All right, so I'm going to move on to concealer. I'm going to use the new Born This Way concealer from Too Faced, the Ethereal Light that recently came out. I have it in the shade Vanilla Wafer. And this one has a little bit more of a kind of yellowy golden tone. I do think the color is a little light, so it's quite brightening. And I'm not saying it's a bad concealer, but I feel like it does leave a sort of natural soft look to the under eye. It's not full coverage by any means. I would say it's light to medium. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix that concealer with a little bit of my NYX Bear With Me Serum Concealer in the light shade. And then I'm going to blend all of this in. Alright, so moving on to brows. I have the new Gimme Brow Plus Volumizing Pencil from Benefit. This is a mini size. I got a kit from Ulta that has a mini size of the new brow pencil and a full size of the Gimme Brow Tinted Brow Gel, which I do really love and use, and I needed another one anyways. But I decided to go up to shade 4, and I feel like shade 4 is a very good match for me for brows, and I do really like this pencil. It's like a combination of like a pencil and a brow powder all combined into one easy to apply pencil format, which I do like. You do have to sharpen it because it's a wooden pencil. Most of my brow products are twist ups, so this was kind of different to use, one that I actually have to, you know, maintain and sharpen, whereas the automatic ones are just easier. But I do really like this, and I think the shade 4 is a very good match. And it feels kind of like a powder pencil, but it's like combining, like I said, a pencil and a powder all in one, and it does look really nice. I wouldn't say that this is volumizing like they say, because like how can a pencil volumizing give you thickness when you don't you know, it's different when it's like a brow gel or like a serum type product that you put through the brows, and I can expect it to look fluffier and thicker. But a pencil, I don't know if I'm quite on the whole, I believe the marketing of volumizing, but it does apply really well and it lasts all day. Benefit has really great brow products. So to add a little bit of life to my skin, because I'm looking pretty flat, I'm going to use the Jaclyn Cosmetics bronzer. This is the pressed bronzer in the shade Vitamin D, and it looks like this. It looks quite warm, and it honestly is more on the warmer side, so it's a really great bronzer for summertime, but even we're going into fall, it doesn't matter. Winter, I'm still going to use it. It's a really good bronzer, blends well, and I've been testing this out for several weeks. It's not something that's extremely new, but it's new to me, and I have been using this ginormous brush that I have been trying out as well. I bought some drugstore brushes, and these are from Profusion, and I wanted to try them. I've seen them on Instagram, and they look really great. So this is the large flat powder PD6 brush. It's enormous. It's pinched at the ferrule here at the base, so it kind of pinches in the bristles, but then it's kind of got a round tapered point, but then it's also kind of flat. So it really does make applying bronzer super, super easy and quick. It could not be easier. So I do take the bronzer and I kind of just pat the brush in there, and I pat off the excess, and then I just kind of sweep the brush, and I do pick it up on both sides, so I can just kind of sweep and do it very, very quickly. So I do the same thing on my cheek, and it just adds the color where I want the product to be, and then it just helps with blending as well. And I take it over my nose, kind of like a W motion, which I will do after I finish the other side. And then I just kind of like sweep this up, and it blends it so well. And the brush feels incredibly soft. This feels like more than what I paid for it. It feels like it's a super expensive. I will take a little bit though on the very tip of the brush and go underneath just to help kind of take off a few pounds, you know? Few pounds, because I've gained so much weight with this pregnancy. So just a little bit, but it just makes bronzer application so easy and effortless. I like the blendability of this product from Jaclyn. I have the brightening. It's like a setting powder palette. It's got 4 colors, and I got the light or fair to light, and I used the pinky tone yesterday, and let me tell you, my eyes were so incredibly bright. I had never seen my under eye area look that bright and intense. That's crazy. I'll have to demo that in a different video, because I did use my Kosas Cloud Set to set the concealer that I applied earlier. But that bronzer just is really nice. And it has like a toffee kind of scent. I don't really care too much for that kind of toffee scent. It's not offensive. It does go away. I don't smell after I put it on, but it's not like my favorite thing, but it doesn't bother me. And I feel like it doesn't have any effect on the wear or the actual product itself. Now moving on to blush. I bought the Benefit Willa blush. This was out of stock on Sephora's website, and I saw it available in my local Ulta store, so I picked it up. This was a recommendation from a viewer that mentioned if I liked those like rosy tone blushes that I would really enjoy this, and it was one of my last kind of blush related videos. And I have been wearing this quite a bit, and it is so pretty. The packaging is just so beautiful. Let me just show you that in case you haven't seen it yet. But these are the newer blushes from Benefit. I have one called Terra that is more of like a brick reddish kind of bronzy shade that I use to give that sunburnt effect to the skin as if I were outside, but really kind of like faking it, and it's the perfect tone for that. But this is actually a really beautiful like rose color. It's not super, super pink. It's not overly shimmery. There's a bit of a sheen to it, but I feel like it's more of a satin. It's not quite luminous and glowy as some other blushes that I have, but it's definitely not completely flat and matte. And I do think it's such a pretty blush. It's very complimentary to any look that I do. It goes with any foundation. It works well over any powder. It doesn't skip. It blends so well. Like the formula of these blushes, if you haven't tried a Benefit blush yet, I would recommend that you do. If you like kind of like a soft, like sort of neutrally kind of rose color, check out Willa. But they have some corals, pinks. They even have an orange shade, which is so vibrant, and I'm pretty sure that looks beautiful. It looks scary in the pan, and I don't think that I would want that, but I'm pretty sure it looks beautiful on the skin, especially if you have like a tan. That would be amazing. So I'm just going to use my Eco Tools Define brush, which I tend to use for my blush. And I'm going to start by applying this. I did pick up quite a bit, but this will be, and it has that typical Benefit blush scent. It just sort of takes me back. But I'm going to show you how easy this is to blend out if you get quite a bit of product like I did. But I do like a lot of blush. Not gonna lie, I have a thing for blush, so I'm gonna just blend this in. But you can see it gives such a pretty sheen to the cheeks. And I would say this one is kind of up there with my strawberry blush from Laura Mercier and the All That Sparkles. Those are my two. I love those. I have so many blushes that I absolutely love, and I did some videos on blushes recently, so I will link some of those like in the cards to the video if you're interested in watching them. But I adore blush. I feel like it's a step that just, you can't skip it. Just cannot. Now for highlights, I have something that is very unique to my collection because the formula is so different. It's kind of creamy, kind of putty-like. I have liquid and cream highlights. I have powder highlights. I feel like you can never have enough highlight, right? Who's with me on that, right? But I wanted to have this one specifically because I don't have anything that's the same texture. And I do think that this one can be quite blinding. So I'm going to warn you in advance that if you apply too much, they will see you several miles away. They will see you in outer space. But to me, that's all a go. That's a yes. And I really enjoy it. It's the Jaclyn Cosmetics Reflective Light Putty Highlight in the shade Iced. I actually have Iced in the like pressed version, that's the powder version, and they look very similar. I think they're kind of very close in tone, but the texture and formula is totally different. This one is a putty, so I will show you what that looks like. You may have already seen this. You probably already own it. If you like highlight, then this is probably one that you may already have, but it is quite blinding. And I thought that maybe this was going to be something that I could only use with my fingers, just kind of dabbing it, which the first time I did that, I was not prepared in the least for the amount of glow that this gave me. It's insane. It's like a glazed donut. Like, you just look so illuminated. I love it. I have my moments where I want more. More is more, right? And then times where I want a little bit, kind of scale it back. Whatever my mood is. But I actually do think it transfers well with a brush. This is a Morphe Y14. I bought this in Vegas several years ago, and it's like an oversized crease brush. You can use any of your favorite brushes for this. I do pick up some of the product on both sides of my brush, kind of tapping it off, and I will show you how blinding this is. Pick up a little bit more, do the other side, and my camera may not pick this up, but you will see the marks from your brush. If you press your fingers in there, it will leave an indentation because of that kind of putty. It's just different. The texture is different. I have never used a product like this before. Take it through the brow bone and right up here in the temples. Look at that. Oof. I'm telling you. She did something really good with this one. I love it. Alright, so that is my complexion routine for today. I still need to do my eyes and my lips, which I will share with you what I'm going to use here in a moment. But sort of just kind of talking about the base complexion of things. That foundation, the Bounce Skin Tint from Beautyblender, I don't know why people are not talking about this more and giving it more rave reviews, because this definitely deserves a spotlight. It just blew me away from the first time I used it. I did not expect the level of coverage. I would say this is a good medium coverage, and it's buildable. It feels like nothing on the skin, but it just looks beautiful. It's like one of my very favorite foundations I think I've ever used. And I do love using it over the Selena Gomez Rare Beauty brand. This is the Pore Diffusing Primer, like I said in the beginning. The two of them together are just like a perfect combination. And this looks great over other primers as well. You don't have to have the Rare Beauty one. If you don't already own it, you don't have to go out and buy that specifically to make this look good. This is beautiful on its own. So I'm going to go and do my eyes and my lips, and then I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm back and the look is complete. So I will share with you what I use for the eyes and also the lip combo for today. So the eyes, I used all the colors from this Persona Identity palette. This is the first one. They have the Identity 2, which has a few more like bright jewel tone colors. This one is the original, the first one, and it is all of the everyday kind of wearable shades. And I'll hold it upside down. Let me hold it further back because my ring light is kind of blinding. But these are colors that are everyday, colors that I would reach for. There's not one shade in this specific palette that I would never use. And I did some of the kind of tan shades in the crease. Then I took this one that's called Bombshell, which is, it's honestly like an olivey tone, which I normally don't go for that, but it's kind of like a antiqued look to it, which I like. And I don't know, I just really love the way it looks on the eyes. Then I did the dark brown on the lower lashes, and then I felt like this brown really paired nicely, or I should say this olivey tone pairs nicely with something a little bit more warm. So I took this color here called Audacious, which is a matte, really intense, warm, like terracotta color on the lower lash line, mixed with the dark brown, and then I used the dark brown as my eyeliner. So I feel like overall the look is beautiful. And then I took the Sassy shade, which is the light ivory color, which, let me just warn you, that is extremely potent. I had to go back and kind of buff my inner corner and my highlight for my brows because it was way too much. And I barely even touched the pan with my brush. These colors are incredibly pigmented. I don't have to swatch them because as you see them in the pan is exactly how they translate onto the eye. Now to wrap things up for the lip, I used the new Rare Beauty lip liner. This is the Kind Words matte lip liner in the shade Lively, which is a beautiful peach color. And I lined and filled my entire lips with this. First I started by lining, and then I kind of softened that a little bit. Took the pencil, and as you can probably maybe see, it's kind of, I need to clean it. I used that and filled in my lips as if it were lipstick, and it's a really nice matte finish, but because my lips are quite dry and they're starting to peel just a little bit, I felt like a matte lip was not very flattering. Although it's a pretty formula, it is a matte finish. So I wanted to add a little bit of something to the lips. So I took the Makeup by Mario, the Moisture Plumping Lip Serum in Bare Glow, and I just kind of lightly patted that over the top because I didn't want a super glossy finish today, but I also didn't want something flat and matte. So I kind of tried to find middle of the way. So I did that by taking this Makeup by Mario and just kind of just dabbing like this to give me a little bit more hydration and moisture to the lips without it being super glossy and without feeling like I needed something, because my lips, like I said, are quite dry today. So the two of them together are a really nice combo. I like the tone of this. I didn't buy the matching lipstick. I should have, because it's really pretty, and I didn't have like the exact tone in a lipstick form. So I should have went, in hindsight, looking back, I should have just ordered the lipstick to match. But I didn't. And that wraps up today's entire look. That is it. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Check out the description box. Everything will be listed for you down below. And I hope to see you in my next video. Take care, you guys. and I'll talk to you soon.